Welcome. Today we're going to talk about how to design websites using AI. But before we get started, we need to understand what is design. What better way to do this than going on Google and just searching for the word design? So when we search for it, we see that a design is the concept of or proposal for an object, process, or system. The word design refers to something that is or has been intentionally created by a thinking agent, although it is sometimes used to refer to the inherent nature of something it's designed. So essentially, design is like the architecture or the blueprint of how an object or phenomenon is supposed to look like, to exist. And in the context of websites, it's how the website is structured. For example, when we look at this page that we're seeing, we have the design of Google right here, where the profile of the user is here. The different apps that Google has is here, where you can essentially click on the button here and they'll come up. You see like the search bar here in the section and the home button. So the search bar, it could have been here, but it also could have been here. It depends on the design. And Google's design team, they chose it to be here. So that's how the design is. You also have the design of the browser that you're using, your computer, and essentially how anything looks like. If you take, for example, this object, a bottle of water, like how big should the lid be? How tall should the bottle be? This is all designed. It's not just random, but someone had to actually think and decide on which measurements to use and why. So that's essentially what we're going to do in this video. In this video, we're going to see how we can design websites using AI. And the tools that we're going to be using are ChatGPT and Figma. So ChatGPT is the most used artificial intelligence tool, as we see here. And I like using 4.0 because it has better capacities. And the tool for designing websites, software, mobile apps that is most used is Figma. So what we can actually do that I'm going to show you, because if you see my background, it's new, it's not what it used to be in the previous videos. And this is because I'm actually in Toronto, in Canada right now, and not in Norway. So I came to Toronto this summer and I'm going to start my business. So what better way to teach you design and how I do it than just showing you how I will create the design for the website for my business. So let's start. So what I really like doing first when I'm using ChatGPT is to give it context on what I'm doing so he's able to understand the situation. So here I will just tell him what my situation is and what I want to do. So here just something simple where I'm explaining to ChatGPT the context, what I'm doing and what I want to do. You can just hit enter and see what it spits out for us. That sounds like an exciting venture since we're focusing on software, websites, and mobile apps. There are several tech conferences in North America that could be highly beneficial for networking and promoting Brito Consulting Inc., the name of my business. Here are some upcoming tech conferences you might want to consider. So here it gives me suggestions on what conferences I should attend. And this is because in the previous conversation, I was telling it that I was looking for conferences to attend. The first thing that I like to do when I'm essentially creating a design is to look at existing designs, because existing designs are usually very good, high quality, and you can essentially just learn from them and use them. So since I'm creating a consulting company website, I am going to look for other consulting companies that already exist and see how their design is like and if I like them and what changes I want to make. But if you wanted to create a website for Clothing store, you would do the same. Go to existing clothing store, see the design they have. If you're creating a design for an e-commerce website, we do the same. You could, for example, look at Amazon, how their website is designed. Essentially take their design, change it, tweak it, and make it your own. So I'm going to open a new tab here, and I'm going to, but before I do that, I can also just ask ChatGPT, what are the best consulting companies for software websites and mobile apps? And if it's popular, it's usually because it's the best. Usually. Accenture, IBM Global Services, Cognizant, Capgemini. So we see a bunch of these. So let's start with Accenture. On the new tab here, we can look for Accenture. So you see here, Accenture Canada, let there be change. So here we see how their website is like, designed. Very well done, very modern, as we can see. Case study, events, 360 value, and on these tabs, what we do, capabilities, cloud, cybersecurity, data, artificial intelligence, but I'm still unsure of how it is. Like, it's a little complex, and I still haven't understood that it is a consulting company. Like, if I, for example, didn't know from ChatGPT, how would I know what company, what type of company this was? Let's try another one. Let's look for IBM Global Services. Okay, so here we already see consulting. Okay, so it's a consulting company. Services, what they can provide, industries that they've worked in, application services, automation, business strategy. Yeah, so products they can offer, solutions, automation, consulting. This looks interesting. Let's look at consulting here. So here, IBM Consulting. I like this one better than the previous one. Let's look for others. Cognizant. In Canada, sure work in Copilot, industries. I don't know, still am not able to understand this company and what they do. Maybe it's just me that I like having things simple and easy to understand. Okay, global leader in consulting, technology, services. So I like the simplicity of their website, how everything is organized. I think it's a little more modern and intuitive than IBM. Like IBM is very like machine or robotic, you know. But what I like about IBM is how they have consulting here. So you see it's consulting services that they can give you. Also here that you can contact them. But I like Capgemini's interface, UI, which is simple, intuitive to use and see what you're able to do. And that's the thing. You will see things that you like from certain companies, certain websites, and you can just take those and apply to your website, and you're essentially creating your own. So let's look at this other one, Thought Consultancy. And in this one, you already see that it's a consulting company, so you understand what they do right away from their name. What we do, overview, transforming businesses through technology. Yeah, that's a very good way to explain what you're doing, because it's essentially what you do, like consulting in software, websites, and mobile apps. You improve businesses with technology, so they become more efficient, so they're able to get more clients as well. To get in touch with the right person. So yeah, this one is very professional and it's very well done. The UI is also simple, easy to use. I think I can work with these three to create essentially the design for the website that I want to create. So what I like doing is taking screenshots of what I'm talking about, so ChatGPT is able to understand. So I'll just take a screenshot of this. Here I can say, so I've essentially taken a screenshot of each website and what I like, and explained to ChatGPT what I like about them. So you're seeing the message. And if you're wondering how I'm able to take screenshots quite quickly, it's a tool called ShareX. This one's that you can download, and it's a shortcut like print screen that automatically pulls this up, and then you can just click and then click on copy to get it to your clipboard, and then you just Control V here or wherever you want to use the image. And I'm also going to tell it how my business differentiates itself from the others, so it gets context of how the design could be and what it can contain. Here I have written for my business what differentiates it from the other ones. You tell it to create the design and specifications Figma for the website of your business. So here you see it already creates like the hero section. Welcome to Brito Consulting Inc. Team images, additional pages. So this is just the home page, the main one. So pages, so you see it's very big, but it's essentially the blueprint or the design of how you will actually implement the design. So it's the design of the design essentially. Now, what is very important for like a business is your own unique logo. And I still haven't done this for my business, so I'm going to do it here so you can also see and follow along. 3 hours later, and I was finally able to get the logo. The logo that I ended up going for was this one. And the process was essentially me asking ChatGPT how the logo should be, which values I wanted it to use. And then as you can see, I'll scroll down really quick. He gave me various prompts and feedback, etc. I told him I want to be like Google, like Apple. And then I would put them here so he would generate an image. But I didn't really like many of them. And it was essentially just like this, the process. You see all of the different possible designs. Then I started liking something like in the circle. I liked it. Then continued. And I told him as well, understood. Simply, I like this one. Gave me other suggestions, and he told me. Continue, continue, continue. So like iteration, iteration, iteration. And then I thought of, yeah, my consulting business helps other businesses. So why don't I use like the hand that's like supporting? I told him to use it. Then I saw this one that I really like with a B. And then I told him here on a logo like this, as you see, give me other suggestions, but it was like a little strange with this. So I tried fixing it and he gave me various suggestions until finally came up on this one here that I really liked. But the problem was that the image was like weird like this. So in order to fix it, I ended up downloading it, opening it up on Photoshop, and yeah, doing a bunch of things which is out of the scope of this video until I was able to get like this one, which you can see is quite similar to this, almost fully identical, but you see that I kind of took it, changed the color as well. So that's how I ended up going for this logo for my business. If you want me to create a more detailed tutorial on how you can create a logo for your company or for a project that you have, leave a comment below on this video, and if I get enough requests, I'll create a video specifically for creating logos. So now the next thing that we do is you make a prompt like this one that I did and ask ChatGPT to create the design and specifications in Figma for the website of your business. In this case, it's my business, Brito Consulting Inc. So I'll just take this structure that he gave me, and then I'll tell it, then upload and select the logo, then just enter it, because you need to know which colors to do in each of the websites. So you see the color suggestion, this will match the logo, perfect. Blue and white, so it's a very good section. So you see each of these. Now the next thing that you need to do is start with each page. So give me a list of its components, sizes, specifications, and colors. Then you just do this. You see here, background, see the dimensions. So the next thing that we can do is start opening up Figma. If it's your first time using Figma, just create an account. Then you go here to drafts and just create new draft, new design file. Now we'll give this the title of Brito Consulting website. Now choose a frame, just take these ones and ask ChatGPT to choose the frame. And just copy it and tell it in Figma. Then we choose the desktop frame, click on it, and you see it comes up here. Next thing you see, it tells us to create a rectangle in the homepage for the website. And then I will just ask it, because I think it's strange that it hasn't chosen a header like this or a footer like this. I will just ask it. Sometimes it gets errors, so you have to kind of guide ChatGPT in the right direction. So full homepage layout with header and footer, perfect. And hero section, sounds good. So now we can already start while it finishes this. We see this here, the background. So here we see the rectangle that we have to create for the header. So what we do is we go here and you click here on rectangle, or you can just click on the R key and just do something simple like this. And you use the correct width, which is 1440 on the width here, so 40 like this. And then the height, which is 80. And then you just take it, drag it so it's correctly, and place it right at the top like this. And it tells you the color is white, so after you click on this, you go here and just drag it all the way here, choose the color white, press FFF, or you can just type 3 Fs. Next thing we see, it's the logo, which is 60 by 60. So what we do is we find the logo, our logo, take it, the logo that we have made, and then copy paste it here, click on allow. Then we'll see it comes here. The next thing that we'll do, which the size that it says is 60, so you just take the highest one, which is this one, and put it on 60. And then see this is inside the header here. This, let's just put it here. And we can kind of align it vertically like this. But let's check the position where it says for it centered vertically. So vertically is like the direction up. So you essentially have to, inside the rectangle, see if you get this. If you get this, then it's centered vertically. And then you can just drag it all the way here. And then you see that it wants it to be 20 pixels from the left. So after this, you just click on the X, just take plus 20, and you'll see it moves it 20 pixels to the left. Now we see the next thing, navigation links. Okay, let's start with home. So you can click on the T here, or you can just type on the letter T. Then you just make something like this and type some text, home. But do the designs have home? Designs don't usually have home, they just have this. You see? So the logo kind of acts like a home icon. So if you go to a link, you can just click on the main one here and you go back to home. So I will just tell it. So I'll just do this. And then the same thing that we're going to check if it had sans serif as a font. I'm not sure it does. Yeah. So then we can also tell it to choose another font. So remove the home link, headers, you won't get this, services, about us, portfolio, blog, contact. And just type services like here and see how it makes it. So it wants 18 pixels. So then we can type on the size to be, just click on here, 18. You can click on this so it's like centered here. And then we can just allocate this correctly like this. This as well. And the color that it wants the link to be is this one. So we just copy the color here, click on the services here, then click on the fill here, paste, Control V, just enter. And then I can tell it Figma. See, heading, let's see here, Poppins, there's Poppins as a font. Yep, Poppins is a font here, so then we just select it and start using it. So perfect, Poppins regular here, so make sure it's regular like this. So now just continue. So to do that, you can just like this, and then you can just Control C and Control V, so you create a copy, then you just move it. And here you type the next one, which is about us. And then you can drag it like this, so it's complete like this. Next thing that we have to do is group them and use 40 pixels spacing between each link. So what we can do is click on this first one, then hold Shift key on the next one, and then you can click on this one here, and it wants 40, so 40 spacing here. Do the same this one and this one, and 40 in between. And then you see each of these, if you select and hold Shift, all of them have this one. Now what we can do in Figma is create a component. So you just right click and then click create component, and we can call this component for header links. So now it's the component that we have. The next thing that we can do is align it horizontally. So starting 100 pixels from the left of the logo. So from the left of the logo, you can take this one and we align it centered as well. You can then move it here like this. So to align horizontally, you need to use a little bit of mathematics. So 80x right here. Let's just open the calculator so we have the number. Just 80. You just drag it all the way to the end here, and you can hold Shift so it doesn't drag down. While if you don't have Shift and you try dragging, it can go a little bit down. So what you can do is run it vertically and then hold the Shift key and then just drag it here with no problem. So you see here, it's 934. So now we can do 934 minus 80. So we have the difference between each. And then we can just divide it by 2. So we get the middle. And then what we can do is just put it here, right beside the logo. And the middle is 427. So we just click on the X here and plus 427 like this. And now we have it in the middle of each of these and not the entire header. To prove the header, follow the steps. So Brito opens bold, have the font correctly, then type choose bold, then we can choose dark gray. It's just 333, this, and then size 24 pixels. This 24, and we have it like this. Then we can just drag it here into the footer, align it vertically like this, and just hold Shift so it touches the logo here. And then as it says, 90 pixels from the left, right next to the logo. So we go here on the X, plus 90. Then it goes towards here to 934, so it go here, 94 minus 300 divided by 2, so 317. So you can just go to 300 plus 317. Yeah, it looks okay. CTA call to action button. So here we create a component with, so I will just create a rectangle again, something like this, and it's 200 by 50, with 250 here. Background color is this one, so take this color and put it here. Centered horizontally as well. So before this, let's see. Let's find it here. It wants it to be 180 from the top, so here plus 180, and the text that it wants is get started, like here. I can just drag it like this, and also like this. The next one is Poppins bold, so select this one. Poppins bold and white. This, you can just put it here, and then we center it inside the rectangle here, like this as well. Just put it here. Then we can create a component, this one here as well. Just create components, and we can call this CTA button. So here we are, and I have finished designing the homepage for my website, and the end result became this. So this is right when you come here, one from Figma, and when you scroll down, you go into this new frame. This part here goes up while the header stays in the same place. Then scrolling down a little more, come to this page here, and scrolling down all the way to the bottom, we finally get the footer that shows up. I got into a few problems with ChatGPT because you can see how much text I've had to write, or he has written, and how many prompts I had to tell him. And it makes sense because the design of a website or software mobile application is usually what takes the most amount of time. Essentially organizing and deciding where each component is going to be, where the text is going to be, which font, which size, what colors, what contrast to create. So this has taken me about 3-4 days to develop, but the implementation is much faster and you can get it done in under 1 day probably. And another thing, when ChatGPT, for example, I can show you here at the bottom, right at the end, where I had to do lots of things, he will give you wrong positions like this here, how much from the top. So you essentially have to test it out to see if it matches, and if it doesn't, if it's too much cluttered up between the components, you can tell it doesn't work, fix it, and it gives you new ones. So you try them again, and then you can tell it if it's working or not, the problem, and then tell it to fix it again. And it's just like this continuous feedback loop until you're able to get the result that you want. And I told him, for example, here, doesn't look good, looks cluttered, should the context detail of me beside the form or below frame 4, because I was deciding where the components were supposed to be. And then he gave me new suggestions, which I implemented like this. And then I took a screenshot of how it looked like to show it and tell it, it now looks like this, fix it, make the contact details image below the form. Then he tried it again. Then he got to this, doesn't work, fix it. So you see it, it's not perfect yet, ChatGPT. So essentially have to go back and forth and do continuous feedback loop and essentially try to help it, try to guide it in the right direction. Another thing, the icons that you see here, for example, these ones here, the finding, the handshake, the pencil, rocket, etc., the mobile as well, the cogs here, and even the social media icons here. The way that I got the icons was using the website, this website called Font Awesome, where they essentially give you free icons. We just search for whichever icon you want. The website that I used to get the different icons was this one, Font Awesome, where they essentially give you free icons on anything that you want. So if I, for example, wanted, let's say, house, it gives me suggestions like this one. I can then click on it. If I click on it, I can go here and choose the color that I want it to be. For example, be green, just click on it. But you essentially want to ask ChatGPT which color to use here. So then you just need to take this color code and essentially type it here. Then press enter and you'll see it becomes the one that you want. You can just download it. And after you download it, what I do is I go to a new website where I convert from SVG to PNG, and I can then copy and paste the icon here to essentially use it. So here you see, after converting the icon to PNG, I just, for example, copy it, go back here and then paste, and then I choose the size which ChatGPT also gives you. For example, here you see 24 by 24. So here I do 24, 24 like this, and it becomes smaller, and then you can just put it in the position that he suggests, like this here, and try it. If it doesn't look good, just take a screenshot and give it to ChatGPT and tell it this doesn't look good because of this, improve it or fix it, and he will do that for you. Then you just try again with the new position and you do it over and over again until you finally get it to work. If there's anything that you guys are wondering about, just write down a comment below on this video. And if you want more videos like this as well, write down in the comments as well so I know what type of videos you guys want me to make. And this is essentially how you design using AI tools like ChatGPT. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to implement a design once you have made it in Figma and actually deploying it on the website, on the web. So I will finish the design for my business website, and then after I have finished all of it, I will implement it and show you how I do it.